Hey everyone, Dr. Tam here with Rocky again, and today we have an exciting topic on what people need to do in order to hydrate correctly. I mean, Rocky, right now it is graduation time, right? What have you heard right now for people who are graduating? Tell me a little bit more.
All right. Well, it's the summer. It's the hottest time of the year, right? And our bodies depend on water to basically survive. So every cell, every tissue, organ in our body needs water to work properly. And a lot of the things that we have in our body uses water. So um, and we often hear doctors, experts, and even our moms tell us that, you have to drink 6 to 8 ounces of water daily, right? So today we're going to be talking about hydration, basically.
Yeah.
So my first question, Dr. Tam, is drinking 6 to 8 waters of water daily. Is that statement always true?
Well, usually that statement is 6 to 8 cups, right? People talk about 8 cups of water. Each
Mm-hmm,
cup is about 8 ounces. So that comes to about
mm-hmm,
64 ounces. That statement
mm-hmm,
is way, way underestimated. See, even if you
mm-hmm,
had zero activity, for your body to function naturally and optimally,
mm-hmm,
now this is without exercise, you're supposed to drink half your weight in ounces every day. For example, if I weigh 200 pounds, I have to drink
mm-hmm,
at least 100 ounces of water every single day just to stay alive and well. Now, if I were to
mm-hmm,
exercise, if I were running, exercising throughout the day, I have to drink more, maybe a gallon, right? 128 ounces,
mm-hmm.
maybe 140 ounces of water, right? Consistently, you just need water because your body is about 70 to 80% water.
Mm-hmm. Right. And, you know, is it, um, are there any other sources? Because we're talking about hydration and it just does not involve water, right?
Right.
Are there any other sources of hydration or water,
Well,
to
so
say?
a lot of people think they would like to ask me, they'll say, ooh, is coffee one of them? Does
Mm-hmm.
tea count?
Yeah.
And here's the thing, anytime when there's caffeine involved, it does not count. It actually works against you. So, for example, people
Mm.
like to drink a cup of coffee in the morning. 1 cup of coffee can wick away up to 2 cups of water. All right. So,
Mm.
when you know that math, if you drink a cup of coffee in the morning and 2 cups of water, you're at zero. You're completely at zero right then and there. So, you have to overhydrate a little bit if you're drinking coffee. Um, there are other forms like water with a pinch of salt, and then with some lemon. That's something that I recommend to patients on a regular basis. You just slice up a few slices of lemon and drop it in the water. Let it infuse in the water. Because
Mm.
when you let that infuse, is the minerals from the lemon actually makes that lemon water quite alkaline, believe it or not.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
And talking about water and hydration, is there such thing as, drinking too much water
Yes,
or
you can
being
actually drink
overhydrated?
too much water. And there's been competitions where people on the radio station or contests, they drink gallons and gallons and gallons of water at a time. And
Wow.
what happens is you get so much water, a rush of water into these cells and an imbalance in
Mm-hmm.
electrolytes. It can cause organs to shut down. It can potentially cause the brain to swell. People have died from drinking too much water, but it's usually drinking excessively. We're talking about gallons at a time. You're not going to, most people on a regular basis is not going to drink too much water. All right. So unless if you're at a
Mm,
contest where
yeah.
you're trying to drink 2, 3 gallons at a time, most people aren't going to overhydrate. But if
Mhm,
you're sweating a lot, what you need to do is hydrate with electrolytes. Now, I know they talk about
mhm.
Gatorade, Powerade, all of that, but they're too
Yeah.
sweet. They have too much sugar. some of the best hydration is actually if you look at Pedialyte, the non-flavor ones. Okay, I've tried Pedialyte.
Hmm.
Rocky, have you ever had Pedialyte before?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh God, it's so salty, right? It feels like you just
Yeah,
drink
it is.
water from the ocean. But when you're losing electrolytes, that is the best form of hydration. Is you have to have that mineral in there. And I tell some patients, they're like, well, does it mean that I can't, if you're sweating a lot, does it mean that I can't drink Gatorade? I said, well, it's not that you can't drink Gatorade. It's just that the Gatorade's not going to be the best. I'll tell you, this is what we used to do.
Hmm.
We used to do this for all the athletes for maximum hydration because adults like the taste, right? So we do
Yeah,
one
yeah.
third Gatorade, 2/3 water. You take a pinch of salt and then you drop it in, just a pinch. Okay. As much as your thumb and the end of your index finger is going to hold, you drop it in some pink salt. Shake it up, put a slice of lemon in there. Now you have a little bit of sweetness, whatever flavor you love. It's got extra electrolytes and you got some lemon in there. And what I do is I would usually take that, put one bottle in the freezer. I'll make a couple more bottles into the fridge, and that's what I will bring out. If I were to be, if
Yeah.
I knew I was going to be sweating a lot, that way, as I
Hmm.
drink the two in the fridge, at the end of the day, the one that's going to be frozen will still be cold.
Yeah, because it melts, right?
Yeah, because it melts.
And speaking of that, Dr. Tam, can I just use, the regular table salt, or
The best is to use the
is there?
Himalayan pink salt.
All
Yeah,
right,
that's going to
okay.
be the best one.
So yeah, especially now, just like what you mentioned earlier, we were talking about graduations, right?
Oh, yeah.
And right now it's super hot, and normally, these graduations take place during at brunch,
Yeah,
basically,
pretty much
right?
the peak season,
And
right? The sun's
aside
like
from,
beating down on you.
yeah, right, right. And aside from that, there are a lot of causes of dehydration,
Hmm.
and we live in an environment that basically sucks the hydration out of us. We drink and eat food that are dehydrating, even medicines that are dehydrating. Sometimes even our daily activities can cause dehydration. So, what are the first signs that will tell us that you're about to be dehydrated, or you're already dehydrated?
Right, right. One of the first signs is dry mouth. Your lip starts to
Mhm.
dry. That's how you know it's like, oh, you can't even swallow your saliva because your throat, is so dry,
Yeah.
right? That's
Hmm.
one of the signs.
Hmm.
Then eventually your body will start to get really tired and fatigue. You might not
Hmm.
have clear thoughts. You might feel a little bit lightheaded from sitting down to standing up, you know. Then eventually, as it gets worse and worse, well, you end up having a temperature, you have slurred speech. I mean, you're on the verge of a heat stroke
Oh
at
my
that time. People start
God.
fainting, you know. So those are the different levels of dehydration.
Yeah. And I heard that as soon as you feel that you become thirsty, that's already a sign that you're past the what do you call that, the clinical phase of
Yeah,
hydration.
yeah. It's already
So
too late. Don't wait till you're dehydrated. Don't wait till
yeah.
you feel like you need water because by then you're already
Hmm.
way too much dehydrated. Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt.
Hmm.
Yeah. So it's always better
Exactly.
to prevent dehydration. You just got to drink water. And if you're
Hmm.
sweating a lot, you need to drink the water with the electrolytes.
Hmm. Right.
Hmm.
And is there a proper way of really rehydrating or hydrating ourselves?
Well, you got to do it throughout the day. You got to hydrate with the right things, you know, and you
Hmm.
have to do it in a way where you're not just trying to chuck it all down at the same time, right? A little bit
Yeah.
here, a little bit there
Hmm.
throughout the day. That's the key thing. You don't want to just overinflate your cells because if your cells feel like they're overinflated, which is like, over water, right? Then it's going to try to get rid of it really
Hmm.
quickly. And that's where the kidneys have to work really, really hard throughout the day. But that's the other thing, is that your kidneys, your liver, and all your organs, your heart, right? You want to make sure that you have enough blood flow in there to prevent your kidneys to overwork. See, when your kidney does not have enough water, it gets overworked. It's filtering out all that gunk, right? Now your kidney has to work a lot harder because it doesn't have enough water. And that's how sometimes kidney stone starts to build up, right? And no one likes kidney stones. For people who've ever had kidney stones, they tell me that is some of the most painful experiences that they've ever had.
Right, and we don't wanna experience that. So,
No way.
um, right. So that's all I have for you today, Dr. Tam.
Yeah.
So, we talked about, making sure that we are hydrated, the proper way to hydrate ourselves, and do not forget to bring that bottle of water with a
Right.
pinch of salt and lemon,
Exactly. Yeah.
especially during this graduation ceremony.
Oh my
So,
gosh. I mean, this weekend, people are going to be
congrats.
outside, right? You got to bring sunblock,
Yeah.
bring a hat, bring a wet towel, right, around your neck so that
hmm
you do not get heat stroked. That's the biggest thing, is all of a sudden you see grandma over there in the corner passing out. You never know. So keep grandma hydrated, because
Yeah.
the other thing is, as we get older, our satiety and thirst sensors drops. So we feel that thirst later and later. So by the time we feel it, we're
Mhm.
already way too thirsty.
Oh my gosh.
Hmm.
Right.
All right.
All right. Okay. Well, thanks again, Dr. Tam, and congratulations to everyone who graduates today. Not
Absolutely.
today, this
Absolutely.
weekend.
Yeah, this weekend. Rocky, thank you so much. Have a great day.
What is motor neuropathy? How is it different from peripheral neuropathy?
We're just going to get right into it.
Uh-huh.